According to NASA, most climate scientists agree the main cause of the current global warming trend is human expansion of the greenhouse effect, warming that results when atmosphere traps heat radiating from Earth towards space. On Earth, human activities are changing the natural greenhouse. Over the last century, the burning of fossil fuels like coal and oil has increased the concentration of atmospheric carbon dioxide. This happens because the coal or oil burning process combines carbon with oxygen and the air makes CO2. To a lesser extent, the clearing of land for agriculture, industry, and other human activities has increased concentrations of greenhouse gases. The consequences of changing the natural atmosphere greenhouse are difficult to predict, but certain effects seem very likely. Warmer conditions will probably lead to more evaporation and precipitation overall, but individual regions will vary, some becoming wetter and others drier. A stronger greenhouse effect will warm the oceans and partially melt glaciers and other ice structures, increasing the sea level. Ocean waters will expand if it warms, contributing further to the sea level rise. According to EcoWatch, livestock emissions make up anywhere between 14.5% to 18% of total global greenhouse gas emissions. Comparably, the transportation sector is responsible for about 14% of emissions. So by those numbers alone, our current system of meat production is extremely damaging. Cars are definitely responsible for environmental destruction. We know that our driving is hurtful to the environment. But what about compared to eating a burger? We don't usually associate meat consumption with climate change, but which is actually worse, cows or cars? Driving cars isn't good, but meat production is unexpectedly worse for the environment. Besides all of the fertilizer and cow waste products that release methane, meat unfortunately has to be transported in refrigerated trucks from feedlots to slaughterhouses, to producing centers, to your local grocery store. And in this way, factory farming combines all of the harmful effects of driving an 18-wheeler plus some. If everyone enjoyed one meatless day a week, a simple and easily accomplished goal, livestock emissions could be greatly reduced. Unfortunately, a rise in sustainable farming, while more humane and necessary, will not greatly alter the skyrocketing emissions caused by livestock. Americans love their meat, and they're eating far too much of it. In a recent Bloomberg article, Americans are set to eat more meat in 2018 than ever before. To be precise, the average consumer will eat 222.2 pounds of red meat and poultry this year, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, surpassing a record set in 2004. Something pretty important to know, but not everyone does. People eat meat thinking they will become strong as an ox, forgetting that the ox eats grass. According to a CNN report, repeated droughts around the world also are destroying enough farm produce to feed 81 million people for a year and are 4 times more costly for economies than floods. Beyond hindering food production, erratic rainfall patterns and longer droughts are causing a host of problems for cities and businesses. If people would adopt a healthy diet, they could generate over a quarter of the emission reductions needed by 2050. The idea is to at least ask to become a flexitarian, in which they would commit to eating less meat for a week. What can we do? One of the things we can do is we can eat meat-free meals, or at least try to eat 1 meat-free meal per day. We can do this by planning ahead, choosing restaurants that don't offer meat or they have a meatless alternative. We can buy organic and local whenever possible. Don't waste food. Close to half of all food produced worldwide is wasted after production, discarded in the process, transportation, supermarkets, and kitchens. When people throw food out, all of the resources to grow, ship, package, and produce are wasted. Another way we can help is we can grow our own food. Hi, Luke.
Hi.
What grade are you in, Luke?
I'm in first and I'm going into second.
And how old are you?
I'm 7.
Okay, so we've been talking about ways that we can help our environment and help reduce the amount of gas that goes into our atmosphere. And some of the ways that we've been talking about doing it is the ways that we eat. And one way that we can help is by eating at least one meal a day without meat in it. Hopefully more meals without meat, and hopefully ultimately no meals with meat. But can you tell me some meals that you would be willing to have and commit to having that don't have meat in them? Like breakfast, lunch, dinner, those kind of meals that wouldn't have meat in them?
So you could have rice, sushi, spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. What about for breakfast?
You could have cereal.
What else do you really love?
Eggs.
What else do you really love?
Mostly I like cereal.
Okay. All right, well, those are good examples of meals that we could have without eating animal meat.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about not wasting food, because there's so much food waste all over the world, what are ways that you are willing to commit to that will help you not waste food?
So ways of not wasting food are, you can finish everything on your plate. You could drink everything in your cup. You could eat leftovers so you don't throw away the food. You could not waste food at a restaurant, so they don't have to clear off the table with the waitresses and waiters seeing that you didn't eat most of it.
Okay, so we've been talking about how we can grow our own food to have a huge impact on the environment. So talk about some of the foods that we can grow and eat and why growing our own food helps.
Because first of all, you don't grow meat, and meat is kind of bad for you, and so you can grow your own food.
What kind of foods?
You can grow fruits, vegetables. You can grow carrots, strawberries, tomatoes,
and what is
apples.
That? And how does that help?
It helps because you said that when sometimes we have to eat one meal without meat.
Okay. So that would be just eating fruits and
or
vegetables.
More. Yeah.
Yeah.